Women and girls are disproportionately impacted by climate change in communities around the world, but the good news is they're taking action and we need their stories. That's why we're launching Women Leading on Climate at COP26, and we want you to join.
It is the most serious issue of our generation. Climate change will impact everyone, but we know that some of its most significant impacts will be faced by women.
This campaign, which aims to assemble a global network of women and girls, focuses on solutions, including how to mobilize funding, mentorship, and opportunities for women to not only thrive, but to lead climate action.
Women's voices need to be heard. If you look at the SDGs, all of them from 1 to 16, women are disproportionately disadvantaged in every sphere, not least climate change.
Finance is the number one thing that women do not have access to because they do not have a seat at the table.
And yet, they have to put food on the table, they have to go further in drought for water, they have to make their communities resilient.
And we're seeing stronger hurricanes, longer droughts, more frequent heavy rainfall events, and more dangerous heat waves.
Especially in developing countries, the impact of pollution on women and girls, particularly those who use firewood and other charcoal and other means to cook, is often underestimated.
Women are the most affected by climate change, and the women can be the solution to really handle that transformation. Bringing the women at the table, giving them the elements to lead, is the safest way to get out of that mess.
But we don't hear their voices. They're the frontline experts on the impacts of climate change, and yet we rarely hear their voices at COPs like this.
It is true that when you look at the faces and the photos of who the negotiators are in the room somewhere, at the UN Center, not so many of them are women.
We need more women at the table. We need to hear their voices because there frankly just aren't as many as there should be. They're only at 30%, and we need to see that number go up.
We should aim for parity in the number of women delegates in climate negotiations and decision-making.
When you humanize the issues and share the human side of climate change, people tend to relate to it better. The issues become clearer for them, no matter where they come from. And when they can see themselves in the human stories, it makes a huge difference.
The role of art is to tell those stories that maybe can't be told through other mediums or other fields that are typically siloed from one another. And I think we just need to be cross-pollinating, and obviously women's voices throughout a lot of those fields. The music industry, through to science, technology, is so diminished, is so underrepresented.
And they're the ones that are going to deliver a future for their children and their grandchildren, and mine as well. They are challenging the system every single day to make sure that it's working for them and their families and their communities.
I like to think of women and girls as, extremely powerful agents of change. But there's such an enormous untapped potential to support these women and girls in really, scaling up this movement, this change movement that we need.
Over and over and all over the world, we just see that women are the ones who are getting the job done on climate. They're doing the real practical day-to-day work, and we need to lift up their efforts, celebrate them, highlight them, promote them, and get them the resources that they need to win.
We have deep knowledge of families, a heartfelt need to protect children, and we know that women around the world are disproportionately impacted by climate. That hardship, though, brings a resilience and creativity and a spirit of leadership that is powerful.
We already see women are the ones often who are doing the solutions on the ground, applying them. And we've also seen in the COVID pandemic, that women in leadership were the ones who quickly got societies to start working together to actually keep the numbers low. We need that kind of leadership also on climate, that collaborative spirit, that diversity. We won't find solutions unless we've got a diverse table working together.
Make your voices heard. Believe that you have a voice worth hearing. Raise your voice and force people to listen to you, because you need to be at the centre of climate action.
We need to hear these voices to create more of a sense of urgency on leaders.
We need more women empowered, taking decisions. That is what motivated me, but mainly because this is how the world will change.
What does that mean? It means freedom, it means liberty, it means justice. So girls, women, we need you. come on board.
That's how we're going to tackle climate change. One community, one family, one country, one world. You go, girls.